Hey everybody, welcome back to Dork Daily. I am Chris P. Here along with
the Delco Dork, Gabe Riberio.
And today we are going to be talking about we're back in our series, Does It Hold Up? And today we are talking about a Goofy movie because it's celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. It came out back in 1995, kind of right in the middle of the Disney Renaissance. So that would not really be part of the Disney Renaissance.
It's not technically part of it, but it is an animated feature that got released.
Yes.
Even though you want to call it feature length, that's stretching it. This movie's only 77 minutes. It's a breeze.
Yeah, it does go by pretty quickly. I think I saw this in the theater. I know at the very least I saw it on VHS in the mid to late 90s. When was the first time you saw it, Gabe?
First time I saw it, gonna shout out Delco here because that's my moniker. I went to our RIP, our local AMC Granite Run 8, and I saw it with my dad. And then right after, we went to Burger King when they had the Goofy movie toys. I distinctly remember having at least 2 of them. We can probably dig up some photos. I don't have them anymore, unfortunately. It was Max and Goofy on the little inner tube raft and Wind Up Goofy on a mechanical bull. But yep, memories galore with this one.
Back then, I do remember that I was a regular viewer of Goof Troop. I was a pretty big fan of that show, and so when I saw they were basically doing a movie version of it, I thought that was a really cool idea.
That was a plan I think they had as Casino. They're like, okay, we got our 2 seasons in. Where do we go from here? It's like, well, we have this idea. Could we turn it into a feature length, or maybe it be a TV movie? And they went feature, so I'm glad they did.
Yeah, no, it worked out well, and it doesn't feel. But I think my only complaint, I loved Pete's family in the show. I thought his wife and his daughter,
Peg and Pistol, yes,
are great. And that I think even though the movie doesn't kind of focus too much on Pete and PJ, they have some good scenes in there.
Pete's just there for one specific reason: it's to give Goofy doubt with his relationship with Max because he's an overbearing dad.
But it's a good juxtaposition, I think, with Goofy and everything. And I think it would have been fun just to have the Peg and Pistol in one scene. That would have been cool. But it works. It definitely works. So, I mean, it had been a long time since I had seen this. I know that it has gotten popular again because of nostalgia. And it's kind of one of those things where, something gets popular again. I don't have that many memories of it, but nostalgia can be misleading sometimes. Sometimes people just like something because it was in their childhood. Is it actually good or not? And so I took the opportunity to watch it this past week.
Via my recommendation.
Yes, I checked it out. And again, I remember liking it enough when I was like 10, but I really didn't have a frame of reference for this at all. And the first thing that struck me is that, like, this is kind of a John Hughes movie. And it's like if John Hughes made an animated movie for Disney, I feel like this would be the movie.
Well, Max is obviously in high school, and like when you're that age, it's all about your self-interests, and you don't really care about, like, it's at the root of he's not understanding that Goofy is trying to be a good dad to him, and he's just got his whole centered vision of what he wants.
Yeah, and in the same turn, I think Goofy's kind of the same way, where he kind of has these memories of him and his father that he's just trying to kind of bring Max into, even though Max is a different person than he was as a kid. So I was kind of surprised at like how heartfelt, because again, it's Goofy, right? It's an odd of all the characters to do that with. I thought that was. That could have not. It's possible that could have not gone well. And I know I was reading originally they wanted Bill Farmer not to do the Goofy voice for like a whole movie, and then he actually kind of pushed back against that, saying like.
And he talked about the recording for this being way longer than your standard recording session. Like, it was days upon days upon days and different takes and the songs and everything. I mean, speaking of Bill Farmer, we got to talk about this. This is like a who's who of voice cast, too. Because we got Bill Farmer. If you guys didn't know, he's been Goofy since 1986, I believe.
Yeah, he still is, right?
Yes.
I think. Yep.
Jim Cummings.
Yep.
I mean, if you just look him up, Tigger, Winnie the Pooh, Darkwing Duck, the list goes on and on. Rob Paulson is back as PJ. You guys know Rob Paulson. Raphael, Pinky, Yakko Warner. Well, we got Jason Marsden. This is the first time he's Max.
Right, yeah.
Because the original voice actress for Max is actually Audrey from the first Vacation movie.
Second Vacation movie.
European Vacation.
Yes,
European Vacation.
I know she had passed away. I don't know if she passed away by the time this movie came out.
I think she did. I think they just wanted to age Max up.
But they wanted to age Max, and the voice needed to sound.
And Jason Marsden's been working for Disney pretty much his whole life.
He was in Boy Meets World, right?
He was in Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
He was also on Full House. He dated DJ.
That's right.
And he was also he was JT's friend on Step by Step.
Okay. So,
And of course, most of you know him. He's Thackeray Banks.
right. That's right. Yeah.
So plus we got people who are like Kelly Martin. You know Kelly Martin? She's had a vast career. She was in Tasmania. She was also Daphne on Young Pup. Pup Named
Is
Scooby-Doo.
Kelly Martin the?
She's Roxanne.
Was she the woman that the doctor gets killed on ER?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think that is her.
Jenna Von Oy is also in this. She's her geeky friend Stacy, who's she was on Blossom.
Well, and you know,
And Frank Welker, of course, he's Bigfoot.
right. It just kind of goes in the left field there.
Any movie animal you've ever seen, it's pretty much Frank Welker. He almost sounds like Stripe from Gremlins.
Roxanne's friend. So just for context, after I watched this movie, I watched a couple episodes of Goof Troop because I'm like, I was kind of curious to kind of get back into it. And I think that kind of geeky friend that's the class president, she's in Goof Troop. Like you can see her in the classroom.
It's been a long time since I've seen Goof Troop. It's been a hot minute. I've definitely watched this more, but
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. But yeah, I mean, it was an odd thing to release at this time. I mean, Disney's just coming off of like Aladdin, Lion King,
And I believe Pocahontas comes out that summer.
Same summer. So it's like, why do this? And why it's not held in the same regard as like saying Aladdin or Lion King, but there's a lot of young people that a lot of youngish people now, young adults that I think are really kind of looking at this again. And I think my theory on it is that when we saw it the first time, we were Max.
Yes. I sent this meme to you. We've got to throw this up. I've seen this a bunch of times. It's Max and Goofy sulking in the car, and it just says, "Me in 1995. Come on, Goofy. Take Max to the concert. It would mean so much to him. Me nowadays. Come on, Max. Go on a road trip with Goofy. It would mean so much to him." Yeah, that is the power of this movie.
Yeah. And I think that the folks that were Max back then in the 90s, I think have kids now.
Yeah.
And I think relate more to Goofy. And it's like, oh, wow, I was kind of a dick to my dad, wasn't I?
Well, you always feel like your parents are like not out to do it, but like they've done embarrassing stuff to you, and they know that they've like, why are they doing this? It feels like they almost want to deliberately do it.
The cringe, and Goofy's like the key cringe character of Disney. He's kind of the perfect character to kind of be the cringy dad. I don't know. I relate a lot to it, like with me and my dad, because I mean, we certainly had our differences when I was growing up, and I tried to. I think like any teenager, I was like, oh, please don't embarrass me, this kind of thing. So that was very, very relatable.
I absolutely relate to Max here, even to this day. We've joked that my dad reminds us of Goofy. He even got a photo. I wish we could find it. A photo with Goofy at Disney World, and I got one with Max, and it was like, it's literally father and son. That's our relationship. My nickname for this movie is Gary and Gabe Go on a Road Trip.
And I think they handle it really well. Like they handle, I think, Max and Goofy trying to understand each other. I think having that initial where they just don't get each other at all, and then I think kind of the really genuine efforts, I think, from each of them to try to understand the other a little bit better. And it works really well.
There's that good montage where Max wants to do all the fun stuff, like go to the amusement park and the beach. But then he's just like, we'll do some fun, Goofy stuff. It's like, the world's biggest ball of yarn!
The scene that gets me, I mean, I guess it's maybe the most...
It's one of two.
It's when Pete is kind of putting that in Goofy's head, like, hey, you should check
the map,
check the map, Goof. Which, that really couldn't work today.
Pete's a dick.
He is, but that's the thing, Pete is like the oldest Disney character, I think. I think he's older than Mickey Mouse. He was in like the first Disney cartoons in like the 20s.
Was he in Steamboat Willie?
No, it was before Steamboat Willie.
Really?
Yeah, it was the Alice cartoons.
Okay.
Yeah, look that up. He looked a lot different, but Pete was he was the bad guy from like in the 20s.
Uncles who remind me of Pete.
Yeah, I think in Goof Troop and a Goofy movie, he's kind of more like a frenemy of Goofy.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of annoyed by him, but I think he was genuinely trying to help him. Just they have very different philosophies. But then when Goofy's is like, no, I trust my son. I love my son. And, he says, my son loves me. My son respects me. I mean, it's kind of, I don't know. Like it got really, it felt way too real. I think it got more real than I thought a Goofy movie would get.
this movie has surprisingly has some layers. It does.
It really does.
There's some sweet moments there. I like the Hi Dad soup.
Yeah. That's
where I thought you were going.
And that's when they're like hiding from Bigfoot, which is like the most ridiculous thing.
Like the most crazy comparison there. Like a contrast,
yeah, but it's you have a lot of sweet moments like that. I think kind of layered with just kind of the comedy of the characters and trying to understand each other. And then like when Goofy finds out that Max changed the map and he goes to bed and he's heartbroken. Like you are heartbroken for him. The characters are just so much better developed than they should be.
For a movie that's not even in the main Disney.
For a movie that's based on a Disney cartoon, a weekday afternoon show.
Yes.
They really kind of kicked it out of the park.
Yes.
With this one.
There's one other reason this movie has endured.
Why is that?
Right here. Powerline, baby. I was surprised after like a good decade and a half. His merch was like everywhere. They'd have like Goofy Movie Powerline World Tour 95 shirts. I got one right now. Shout out to T Turtle. Love this shirt. I love Powerline, and I was telling you this earlier. You did not know this. Well, you guys should know by now. If you're watching this, you know Goofy Movie. It's Tevin Campbell, who was fairly popular at the time. He's actually, I believe, he's in an episode of Fresh Prince. And he shows up for Ashley's birthday. But he's older here. But who was originally supposed to play Powerline?
Bobby Brown.
Bobby Brown. Let's just say he had some issues here. But those songs especially, Stand Out and Eye to Eye, like when they get to the concert, like that scene is memorable to everybody. Like Tevin Campbell is no longer known as the pop star. He's known as Powerline. And I really like that scene too, because realistically a bunch of security guards should just attack and arrest Goofy and Max for jumping on the stage with Powerline. But I like the cute moment that the perfect cast is incorporated in the Powerline's choreography. Great stuff.
Yeah, there's all these little motifs that kind of come back and pay off. I came out of it like, oh wow, that was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I mean, I didn't think it was gonna be bad, but I think I appreciated it more as an adult than I did as a kid.
It's a sweet father-son story that's written. It's legitimately this father-son story is at the forefront, but the whole movie is written around a concert.
Right. Yeah. It's a plot device, but if you think at the time what the Disney movies were, I mean, it's pretty low stakes in a lot of ways, but I thought that made it better.
Yeah, I mean, Goofy might not have a lot of money left over since he traveled across the country and somehow got Max into the. I was wishing they would do that. It's like a couple extra minutes just to see how what kind of antics would have gotten them into the concert. Like, how the hell did they get into the instrument cases?
Right, yeah, they're just suddenly there.
It's cartoon.
I love that he's just like, all right, well, we got to get you to the concert.
That's right.
Some other observations I made watching this movie that were kind of interesting, because I always thought it was, we're talking about these characters very seriously, like as if they're human, but like they're all dogs.
Yeah.
That's
dogs that exist in a world where there's also other animals.
There's also other animals.
There's other dogs that are just act like dogs.
And then you have Roxanne's dad, who is just a dog.
Yes.
Like he's just a big dog that doesn't speak. It's like he didn't quite evolve all the way.
Yeah.
Which was...
She even talks to him like a dog.
Right, yeah. It's really funny.
She's like, okay, Daddy, time to go inside.
But here's some other observations I saw. So Walt Disney exists in this universe.
Yes, he does.
Because they mention him twice. So it's like, I wonder who... Like, is Walt Disney also a dog? And like, are these all... Because we see Mickey Mouse, we see Donald Duck.
Yes,
make little cameos. So that's cool. But like, I never quite got... Like... Are they all supposed to be dogs? Are most of them supposed to be dogs in this world? It seems like it's supposed to be our world. Goofy and Max are dogs, but you kind of have a lot of other folks in stuff like Goof Troop or DuckTales that just kind of have like that kind of dog nose, but they don't look like a dog otherwise. So like, is everybody a dog, or I think Pete and PJ are supposed to be cats.
Are they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just very interesting.
We also have my deleted ending to the movie. All right, so we finally get Max fessing up. He's like, listen, my dad doesn't know Powerline. I wasn't supposed to be at the concert. She's like, I like you anyway, Max. Then Goofy does his through the roof, and he introduces himself to Roxanne. Isn't that nice? Then Roxanne's dad beats the hell out of Goofy for breaking the roof. The end.
So wait, is that a deleted scene?
That's in my head.
Oh, that's in your head. Okay, yeah. That's a sweet ending too.
Yeah.
But that would have been great. So other observations I had. You have nuns in this movie. So like,
yeah, and
is
they
there
seemingly follow Goofy and Max everywhere. They're always in the background.
so there's a Disney Jesus apparently.
There's probably a dog Jesus.
There's a dog Jesus apparently, and there's also a zombie. Do you remember in the driving scene, during the driving song, a guy in a casket that comes out and then he's dancing on like the top of the hearse?
Yes.
There's so many implications. They mentioned MTV, so it's like it's like this parallel universe where it's like everything that we have, but there's also zombies and everybody's a dog.
Disney universe, baby.
It's yeah, I kind of feel it's kind of similar to how. Like the Who's always kind of have like those weird noses, kind of thing. Like they're kind of like their own species, kind of thing. So I don't know.
Once you leave Whoville, are there other species of people like this besides the Grinch?
Right. So I'm not sure, but you kind of forget about that stuff. I mean, Disney's always done that.
It just kind of gets glossed over. Like they'll be like, Walt Disney.
Right. I noticed Goofy has a Disney keychain.
He does have a Disney keychain. Yes.
Yeah. So that's and Max of course has a Mickey Mouse phone and everything. So it's like who is Mickey Mouse in this universe? And
he's just like a famous guy.
Yeah.
He's like Kermit is to the Muppets.
But in Kermit's case, like he exists alongside humans.
Okay, we're splitting.
I think we're getting too deep here. Yeah, but it's
we probably already lost you guys with Dog Jesus.
Yeah, Dog Jesus, but no, it's a great film. I mean, I'm really glad I saw it. I was thinking about why it holds up so well, and I think it definitely does hold up well. Is because during the Disney Renaissance, you
arguably could do no wrong.
You could do no wrong, pretty much.
Not just with the movies, but that was also an era of like after school shows.
Yeah,
like that's right in the area. Like
Toon Disney.
Toon Disney. Well, I was gonna say even before that, like. Before Toon Disney became a thing, we had all the cartoons like Aladdin, Gargoyles, Bonkers, DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, Goof Troop, etc., 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 etc.
But the other thing is that like this movie's very heavily associated with like 90s nostalgia. All those movies, all those other Disney Renaissance movies came out in the 90s. This is the only Disney movie in the 90s that's set in the 90s, like very clearly set in the 90s. And so I think that's kind of what makes it stand out. I think stand out, yeah. I think that's why I think it's especially memorable because it's clearly a very very 90s Disney film. I mean, maybe the only 90s Disney cartoon movie, like full length film. I can't think of any other ones that are set in the 90s.
Animated,
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I can't think of any off the top of my head.
You know, but I mean, what a great idea! Like make a John Hughes movie animated.
It's almost like a risk that they took. That I like. Like, it's like, hey, Disney, this is a beloved character with a story that's kind of already pre-existing. You make it at a slightly bigger scale. Make it theatrical. Don't spend a lot of money on it. And yeah, it didn't do huge in the box office, but I mean, we're talking about it 30 years later. So it's got influence. It's got legs.
And I think, the kids that watched it back then, liked it, but like
we all just wanted to be Powerline. We're like, I'm Goofy, I'm Max, I want to be Powerline.
But I think now, like those kids are growing up now, and they watch it again with their kids, and it's like, oh wow, there's layers to this. It's deeper than I thought.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how I felt.
It's a sweet story between Goofy. Have you seen an extremely Goofy movie? That's the one where
I have not.
It's literally like Back to School with Goofy, where he goes to college with Max.
I have not seen that yet. How is it compared to a Goofy movie? Is it not as good?
I don't remember much about it, so clearly I don't have.
I'll probably check it out.
I don't have a.
Because it's the same voice cast, so that would be cool to see.
For the most part, yeah.
Do you remember the old Goofy cartoons where it's like they were like how-to videos?
Yes. The art of skiing.
Right.
Skiing.
Yeah, and usually like Goofy was kind of like this angry dad sometimes. Like he wasn't like Goofy as we know him today. Those early cartoons, they had Goofy Jr. Right, Goofy Jr., which some people said, oh, well, that's...
But they also said, remember, they looked at the map, Goofy's father's names, I forget them, because they kept reusing the map every time they traveled.
So my theory is that what if that old Goofy is Goofy's dad, and Goofy that we know him is Goofy Jr.?
Also, I mean, a lot of people ask this, who's Max's mom? Speculation.
Daisy Duck.
You guys let us know. Leave us a comment.
Who is
Max's
mom?
Is?
It's Disney. It's magic.
It's Walt Disney. It's Dog Jesus.
Max was delivered by stork.
That's right.
Yep, that's how it worked.
Down the river.
Down the river.
They found him in the river.
So yeah, Goofy movie. It's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I was thoroughly entertained.
I'll always throw it on. It's a good. It's a movie that can it warms you.
Yeah.
It gives you a little smile.
Yeah, I mean, I think it can stand
Damn,
up.
those Powerline songs are catchy.
I think it can stand up with the other films of that time. Like, okay, maybe it's not on as big of scale, but I think quality wise, yeah, just as good as the other
absolutely.
Disney Renaissance movies. So, well, that's all. Thank you so much for watching.
Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel.
I am Chris P, and this is
Gabe Riberio.
and we will see you next time. Stand out.
Don't make me sing the song.